Cleveland has named Shedeur Sanders their starting quarterback. Shouldn't this just be a universal day of celebration? And this is like a special a Christmas version of Juneteenth coming up now that Shedeur has officially been named the starter. All the slaves have now been set free. Now that Shedeur is the starter, you just think there'd be nothing but celebrating. But somehow Shannon Sharpe and Ocho Cinco turned this into a conspiracy. The Browns are destroying Shedeur Sanders by naming him the starter. Play SOT 2.
And I really hate to feel this way, but a part of me is like, yeah, we're going to let him start the rest of the season. Oh, Bears, Bills, Steelers, Bengals. If I'm Shedeur, I'm like, nah, I'm good. I already showed y'all what I can do. Put Dylan in there.
Nah, matter of fact, I want him to play against the Bears. I want him to play against the Bills. I want him to play against the Steelers because I want him to show that I'm a competent quarterback and I can compete at the highest level as a rookie if given the right amount of time to prepare.
Right.
That's what I want him. I want him to have.
No. You, Ocho. But this is not a mistake. They picked these games and why couldn't you name his ass the starter 3 games ago?
Well, if he had been named the starter 3 games ago, he'd be starting this Sunday.
Jason.
Go ahead, Steve. Yeah.
Am I imagining this? Shedeur got to play against the Raiders and the Titans. Now, in all fairness to Mr. Sharpe, if this week was Shedeur's first start, I'd be like, there might be a conspiracy as we spell that out. Shannon. So basically, if we're gonna let's do a educational analogy. You want him to do the remedial classes. You don't want him to be AP or honors. Either he's good enough and you think he's gonna be the starting quarterback of the future and you let him go, or you don't. Because just by saying he should only play the Titans and Raiders, the standards you set for somebody is what you really think. That's what Confucius say. The only way any young quarterback, whether it's Shedeur Sanders or Anthony Richardson or Andrew Luck or John Elway back in their days, you got to have reps. You got to play. The schedule is the schedule.
I love the other thing that was very subtle, but it was smart by Ocho Cinco. He's lowered the bar for Shedeur in terms of, I want him out there to prove that he's a competent quarterback. Shedeur is supposed to be the second coming, the greatest quarterback. Now the standard is, I just want him to prove that he's competent against the Bears, the Bills, the Bengals, and like this is the murderer's row, like this is the 85 Bears he's facing.
Well,
it just
Jason, could you imagine if you had the number 1 pick in the draft? Let's say the Titans. Let's have a hot tub time machine, and obviously you're not high on Cam Ward's future, but let's say back in August. Their coach at that time, who's no longer there, would have said, here's what we got a plan. A revolutionary plan. We've picked the 7 worst teams on our schedule. Those are going to be Cam Ward starts. The rest, we're bringing back Ryan Tannehill. We're going to eat it. It makes no sense. It'd be unprecedented. I'd like to see it, but it makes no sense.
Gap, you got a thought here?
Yeah, the thing that strikes me about that clip, like, is Shannon Sharpe not in the Hall of Fame for playing football? Does he not understand how this works? Like, Shedeur entered the season as QB3. He was the second pick by his own team at the quarterback position in this same draft that he came out of. He had to win the job. So that was the process of what we've seen. He was winning the job. Now that he has shown that he is, I guess, according to the coaching staff, the most competent quarterback on that roster, he has won the job, so he has been named the starter for the remainder of the year. What more do these people want? Like, I think it would be more insulting if after Shedeur actually showed up and showed out in that last game, if they sat and said, well, we're still not necessarily sold on Shedeur. It's still going to be an open, kind of a contest going forward to see who's going to get the job. I just don't understand. It's like a lose-lose situation here, Jason. Furthermore, The Cleveland Browns I just want to make this note, have the second best yards per game defense in the NFL. So they're the number 2 total defense in the league. So it's like those other quarterbacks that they mentioned, that Shannon Sharpe mentioned in that clip, they have to go against Shedeur's defense, who is going to put Shedeur in good opportunities to succeed.
We have seen defenses similar to the Browns carry teams into the playoffs. We saw the Baltimore Ravens and Ray Lewis carry Trent Dilfer all the way to the Super Bowl, a Super Bowl win. And so to sit here and act like Shedeur, against all odds, he has no help. No, he's got Myles Garrett, the Ray Lewis of his era, and he's got a defense. This is why some people don't take any allegations of racism seriously, because you can find it in every situation. They gave him a $40 million contract. Don't they know he'll spend that money on weed and coke and whores and it will destroy him? They shouldn't give him a $40 million. That's racist. There's nothing that they could not turn into some sort of conspiracy, and it's a mindset. I got to give Bomani Jones and Emmanuel Acho credit. They've called Shannon out for this, and so it's not just us. Anybody can see how stupid this is. Steve, I found this fascinating. Scap, I did as well. Like Laura Rutledge interview. She didn't try to interview. She interviewed Justin Herbert after that Monday Night Football game. And Justin Herbert, for maybe a second and a half, didn't want to cooperate. And then he did cooperate. But that didn't stop people from saying, oh, what a pro. Oh, look what Laura Rutledge went through. How dare Justin Herbert? Let's play the clip, and then we'll get your reaction. Steve, I know you've covered a lot of sporting events. Have you ever seen that level of rudeness directed at a reporter? That was incredible. She deserves a Purple Heart.
I have a question. Isn't the protocol for the NFL franchise, whoever that is, or a league member, to have a PR staffer actually say, hey, Justin, stay right here? And guys know the drill. I have a question for those who are coming out and piling on Justin Herbert, who probably played the most physically taxing game I've seen any quarterback this year. He's probably banged up. He's probably drugged up with all the pharmaceuticals, right, to get him out there. Heat of emotion. It's a big win. Did they have the same type of, and they love using this word, energy? Did they have the same energy and vitriol for Marshawn Lynch, who in a controlled setting during the Super Bowl, he was only there not to get fined, boss? They thought it was the coolest thing ever. I'm going to go all the way there, since we are fearless. If that was a black quarterback, would those people dare have the same type of words for Justin Herbert that they would, let's say, if it was Lamar Jackson? And I'm just using him as an example. I think Justin Herbert, being a white quarterback, it takes off some of the restrictions in terms of criticizing that particular athlete. I believe that Justin Herbert was banged up. He really doesn't feel like talking, but at the end he said, you know what, this is my job. I did it. I don't understand it, but I do not like, but I do understand the hypocrisy of a lot of these critics.
Yeah, he was not given a heads up by a PR flack that, hey, you're doing an interview with ESPN. If anything, and I don't blame her for not following protocol. As a reporter, that's not what you do. Overtime game, it's decided late, there's an interception, and then you go into scramble mode, and you just do what's necessary to get the job done, and you don't follow proper protocol. I'm not bashing her, but there's just no way to criticize Justin Herbert and act like this is incredibly rude. But Scap, I'm sure when you see this video, this kind of treatment from athletes is probably why you're maybe a little hesitant to get involved in, day-to-day reporting. It's like seeing a scene from Vietnam and just saying, I want no parts of that.